Okay, here we go. It's a brisk Saturday morning. I'm getting preparing my food. I wanted to make a nice soup. The soup that I'm making it's a chicken noodle soup with some other vegetables. Purpose is I'm trying to keep the cold down and have some good eatings at the same time. So as you can see, I pretty much have some stuff out here already set up. I have my seasonings, basic stuff: salt, pepper, some Goya seasoning, vegetable seasoning, Mrs. Dash, and good old cayenne pepper. And then I have these Sazon Goya seasoning packets. They really do give it a nice flavor. I've kind of cut my chicken already, as you can see. These are chicken wings, and I've cut them, dejointed them, and this is chicken breast. I've cut them up in cubes. This is going to make actually 2 pots, nice sized pots of soup, which there's 4 of us eating on it, so it'll go pretty quickly. One of the first things I do is I got my water boiling, put a little salt in the water, some olive oil, and so what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and season up my chicken. And the reason I season it now before putting it in the water is just so that the seasonings can kind of get inside of it and marinate a little bit. And the season that's on the chicken will also be in the water, which will give it a nice little flavor. Don't want it to be too strong, but nice, mild, but flavorful soup. Okay. Mrs. Dash. Some more Goya. And it's, you can season it pretty well because the water's gonna absorb it. And cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper. It's a natural, some natural heat. It's actually, they say cayenne pepper is good for the blood. It's a blood cleanser. So, and I like my food a little spicy. So there you have it. And then I do is the parts that are big enough to turn over, I do so. The ingredients for this is chicken. I generally get chicken wings because I can cut them up. And this time I'm throwing some chicken breast in there. But yeah, as far as my meat is concerned, chicken. And then I will, I'll show you the other ingredients in a minute here. Very important, you're working with chicken, you want to definitely make sure you keep your hands clean. Chicken has that bacteria, salmonella or something, I don't know what the heck they call it. But anyway, so here we go. Just repeat what I did on the first side: a little salt, sea salt of course, some Reese sea salt, and then my pepper. This is a little cumbersome because it's, you grinding it, it's fresh. But just a small price to pay to get that flavor that you want. Again, Mrs. Dash. I like Mrs. Dash because there are multiple herbs and spices in the seasoning. And then Goya, this is actually more of a vegetable seasoning, but I do it because they're going to be vegetables in the soup, so it's all the same. And then of course my cayenne pepper. Right? Now, you can't see this, but my water is boiling already. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my chicken and put it into my boiling water and create my stock, or broth, whatever you want to call it. You can get the broth in a box. I prefer not to. Kind of old school. I want it to be all natural and fresh. So I do it like that. Let me grab my favorite here. Those two. And then I just put it in here, kind of move it around evenly, and turn the heat back up on it. Put the top on it, and let that get ready to boil. Again, I've used this on my cutting board with the chicken. I'm going to wash it. Give me a phone call. I'm not going to take that. It's done. Okay. Now, I've cut up one onion already, but I don't think one onion is going to be enough because, as I said, I'm making 2 pots of this. So I'll show you what I do with the onions. I try to cut them a little large, or chunky, I should say, because I want, you know, this soup is going to obviously, it's a lot, and it's going to cook down. And so, as it's cooking down, the smaller the chunk size, the the more the onion kind of dissipates. So it's not so much that you're not getting the benefit of the onion. It's just that, you know, sometimes you want to get see it and crunch on it and that kind of thing. So having it cut up a little large gives you that effect. So, you know, I'll hit this 3 times and just, you know, that's that. And I'll hit this other half. I'll make this one a little larger. So I'll hit once, twice, boom. Okay? So I got the 2 large onions, white onions. I like white onions because they tend to be a little sweeter. And so there you have that. I have a baggie of mushrooms, but the mushrooms, I get them in a bigger box and I kind of transfer them to the baggie. Carrots, the same thing. I got these sliced already, and I just transfer them to the baggie. Celery, I cut my celery up in nice big chunks. I don't know if you can see that, but this is 4 stalks of celery. And then one of my favorites, it's bok choy. And the bok choy is kind of it looks like a celery, but it's a little leafy. And I cut this up as well. So, you know, generally what I do is I cut the leaves off. And then just kind of grab them all up here and cut the leafy part. Yep, and get those. That's my nephew. Hey, what's up, man? Hold on a second, I'm putting you on Bluetooth. Say that again. I said, what's going on? Pretty good, pretty good. I'll give you a call back. I'm in the middle of something right now. I'll give you a call back. I'm in the middle of preparing something. Okay, good enough. Bye. That's my nephew. And so again, you know, I just kind of put everything in one little bowl because it's all going in the soup. And then when I take the bok choy and I kind of split it down the middle, right? and then I cut it up. So, same way as the celery, kind of thick, because I want there to be a nice consistency here. Alright? Okay. So it was only 4 stalks of the bok choy. In this case, it may have been a little more because it was 4. And again, just kind of button them up. Now, one of the things I was thinking about is, as I was thinking of making the videos, and as it related to preparing meals, is obviously I'm the CEO and president of Financial Solutions Network, and so I'm always thinking of ways to give some real life kind of examples or metaphors for around money and why it's important to have your portfolio be diversified and the different ingredients and what they do. And so, like a good soup or stew or any good meal, they're going to be, any one ingredient that you use in that meal would be good by itself. But when you combine the flavors of multiple different ingredients, you get texture, you get consistency, you get flavor, which obviously affects the taste, and you kind of merge that together and it's something really splendid. It's wonderful, it's great to the taste, it's desirable to eat, and you look forward to having that meal again. But the one thing that you cannot remove from the process of cooking or your finances is time, right? Yeah, you can go and buy a meal in the store and put it in the microwave and in 10 minutes it's done. But it pales in comparison to the taste of a meal that's been prepared fresh and seasoned and allowed time to let those flavors marinate, and it's something very different. The same is the case with your finances. Listen, the most important aspect of your finances, of building the kind of portfolio you're going to need in those distribution or preservation and distribution phase of your financial life, is going to be time, and that's going to happen in that accumulation phase. Well, in that accumulation phase is where you're going to invest in multiple different types of investments. They call it diversification. So in this case, I got bok choy and celery. That's going to give us one flavor. In this case, I've got onions. They're white onions. Could get sweet onions or red onions or whatever. I got mushrooms, right? Got carrots. And I got some noodles. These are vegetable noodles to give it a different consistency. And of course, the staple for it all is my chicken. And in the process, each one of these things I'm dealing with differently. But in the end, they're going to all come together with time. And I'll let this soup, put it on low and let it cook for approximately 2 hours. And it's the flavor is going to just marinate and meld together. And at the end of this process, you're going to have a very hearty soup that's going to have multiple health benefits for you. And not only that, it's going to taste great. Same thing with your finances. You get your 401ks or your employee-sponsored retirement plans. You get your IRAs and your Roths and some other types of investments, silver, gold, insurance products. You get your spending plan together. You're looking at your budget, so you're operating within your means. You're not living beyond your means. You got your protection stuff together in terms of your wills, your living trust, your power of attorney, legal power of attorney, medical. All your basic foundation stuff is in place. Just like you wouldn't expect to have a gourmet meal that was prepared in 5 or 10 minutes in the microwave, we would call that an instant meal. You're not going to look to get rich overnight. Folks, when you're getting presented with some stuff that says in the next 2 or 3 months or 6 months or a year you're going to be wealthy beyond your wildest dreams, I would offer that you just be a little cautious. I'm a very open-minded guy, and so I'm always willing to at least look and be open, but most things that happen instantly don't have the value or the worth that it is purported to. So, we're going to put together this meal, and of course we're going to go through the process, and in doing so, you'll hear me talk from time to time about those benefits of time. There's just no substitute for time when it comes to marinating your money. What can I say? And so we put all this here, bok choy, back here in this bowl here. That chicken is going to boil, and it's going to create that stock for another 10 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead and grab the mushrooms, and I'll chop them up so that they're kind of bite-sized as well. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to end up making 2 pots. So I'm going to just go ahead and use all of this. And move this out, make sure you get a good view here. And I'll do the same with the carrots. And again, I'm just, just hitting it just to, cut them up a little bit. Depending upon how much soup you want to make, it's going to depend on how much ingredients. I tend to make a lot. There's 4 or 5 of us eating off of this. And so it'll last probably 2 days, 3 days max. But it's a good hearty meal. All total, I probably have the packet of chicken wings were about $7. That's the most expensive ingredient in this dish. These are 99 cents. I picked up 2 bags. The carrots, I don't know, $2. The bok choy, same, about $2. Celery, about $2. Onions, not much they cost. And then the seasons you kind of have around. So it's a real simple meal. But let me tell you something. When it's done, it's a hearty eating, and you will certainly enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to, again, put all these things together. My onions, my mushrooms, I'll put them together. And get them over here on the side. And my carrots. Now carrots are really good, they're good for you. But the other thing is they give it a lot, carrots, the consistency is rather crunchy. And so, it holds up in the boiling process or the cooking process. It don't break down, quite like the onions do in the bok choy. So it gives the dish, or the soup, if you will, a little more consistency. So, if you're doing this, you're going to try this recipe at home, play with it. I'm no TV chef, obviously, so I didn't tell you how many cups of this and how many cups of that. I'm kind of one of those old school cooks who just, I know what I want to eat, and I kind of throw it all together and throw my ingredients in there. We'll go from there. But for those of you who need something a little bit more specific, like a recipe book or whatever, I don't know what to tell you. So there's my carrots. Let me, you know what? I'm gonna put them right in here too. It's all going in the same dish, so it's not really gonna matter that much. Okay, there we have it. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start this pot with some water. And I'm gonna start boiling my noodles. Yep. Okay. So the chicken is boiling away. Wow. It's good. So what I do with the wings, right? I put the wings in here, cut them, I cut the tip and the long joint and the drumstick. I separated all of those. And the reason for that is because what I'm going to do is once they get to a certain point, I'll cook them probably for about another 15 minutes. And then I'll pull the meat off of the bones. And so what we'll be dealing with in the soup will just be all meat, okay? Because, we don't want the bones in the soup. We want to get the essence of the bone marrow, the bones, and all the gristle and what have you in. You want to get that cooked, and you want to get that effect, but you don't necessarily want the bones in your soup, because when you bite into it, you want to bite into it and just be able to chew away and, enjoy that meal. So what I'll do here is I'll put this whole bag, I'll bring this water to a boil, so I'll put a little salt in the water and a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Now I'm going to cook these. I'm going to cook them probably at about maybe about 75%. So I'm going to bring them to a boil, and then what I'll do is I'll rinse them. And then what I'll do is I'll add them to the pots equally, because as I said, I'm making 2 pots. I'll add them to the pots equally and let them finish cooking in the meal. That way it won't be real mushy. You'll have a nice consistency to your chew when you're eating this. And you'll be able to, it's a good sensation to feel the flavors as they're bursting in your mouth as a result of all of them kind of coming together. It's kind of the way I like to experience my food. Okay, so for right now, I got these 2 packs. These are going to be used later to season the overall. I got 2 of them. They kind of come stuck together. Let me show you the box that you buy these in. They come in this box here. Okay, and it's a whole bunch of them, and they're stuck together 2 at a time. And so I'll use 1 for each pot. Yeah. So got that going. That's going. I think that's really about it for now. So there you go. So the ingredients. Once again, recap. Chicken wings. Normally I'll get a pack of chicken wings. In this case, I only have 4 chicken wings left from the previous batch of soup that I did, so I used some chicken breast. I get bok choy, big stock with it. Looks like this in the grocery store. Bok choy, okay, and I normally pull off about 4 of these, break it up, cut it up like you saw. Celery, of course, you know what that looks like, right? And I'll use 4 of stalks of celery. And then my carrots, my mushrooms, my onions, 2 onions generally, 2 large onions, and mushrooms. I'll use a half, you get a box about that size. I'll use half of that box per, and that'll go between the two pots, and then 2 large onions. Now, I have some leftover bacon, turkey bacon, and so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the turkey bacon and cut it up in nice large pieces, right? It's about 3 slices here, and I'm going to put that in my water. Just more flavors, right? And I'll stir it up a little bit. The chicken is starting to get a little plump. It's starting to cook, and creating a really nice broth here. That's going to be the basis, kind of the foundation of the seasoning for this meal. So again, waiting on this pot to boil. I can probably move this to a larger eye. It's on a smaller eye right now. So when I do that, move it to a larger eye. Here's mine. And then I'll just move this here to the larger eye, which is here in the front. Turn that off. And put my bok choy away. So yeah, there you have it. Everything, all the ingredients are going to work. And I think the next video you'll see will be one of the meal completed, and I'll be enjoying it as a really hearty, robust soup. This time of year, you can't beat it. So for now, I'm going to sign off.